We didn't go the obvious way into Würzburg because we made a detour to a nearby village called Veitshöchheim. At first glance it doesn't appear to have much to offer. St. Vitus's church is a nice example of Baroque architecture, although the tower is much older. The palace was built as a summer residence for the Prince Bishop of Würzburg in the 1680s and extended in 1753. A little over 50 years later it was the summer residence of the Prince Elector of Würzburg. When Würzburg was incorporated into Bavaria, the palace became a favourite of the Bavarian kings. Now it's a museum, although not open in the winter months. The palace gardens are worth a visit in summer, but when we were there they were bare, and the pond had been drained. But a big attraction of Veitshöchheim is arguably the best ice cream in Franconia. Many ice cream parlours have opened here, but the very best is easy to spot. It's the one with most people standing outside. And so on to Würzburg, the capital of Lower Franconia, and with a population of 129,000, the fifth largest city in Bavaria. It is a city of students and public sector workers, as well as some industry, including one of the world's biggest manufacturers of printing machines, and it's where Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays. This gate is one entrance to the Marienberg Fortress complex. It is crooked, which makes it hard to fire a cannonball through it. But even once you're inside the gate, there's a long way to go before you get to the fortress itself. Prince Bishop Johann Philipp von Schönborn had a massive defence system constructed after the fortress was taken by the Swedes in 1631. The oldest parts of the fortress are 1,000 years old, but bits were added over the centuries in a range of architectural styles. It eventually became one of Europe's biggest castle complexes. The last refuge of an embattled Prince Bishop was the keep, where he could safely watch his soldiers beat off the enemy. Of course, if they failed, he was trapped. St. Mary's Church, as well as being a place of worship, also doubled as a refuge in times of battle. And if the usual water supply was ever cut off, the fortress had its own well. At 100 meters, that's 300 feet, it's not for people who suffer from vertigo. Neither, for that matter, is the view of the city. The fortress is perched on a steep hill just the other side of the River Main from Würzburg itself. The old bridge into the city offers a vista uncannily like that of Prague. Würzburg has many attractions. This is the city hall dating back to around 1200, and nearby the cathedral consecrated in 1188. This is the New Minster, 100 years older, but extensively refurbished in Baroque style. The Falcon House, with its fussy Rococo facade from 1751. St. Mary's Chapel, built on the site of an old synagogue and completed in 1480. The Church of St. John the Baptist and St. John the Evangelist from the 17th century. Its dome was daring for its time, and locals feared it would collapse on their heads. And here, bathed in an early evening light, the Würzburg residence, a baroque palace for the prince-bishops of Würzburg. It is of similar architectural importance to Vienna's Schönbrunn and Versailles in Paris. But along with architectural glory comes architectural folly. One of the dispiriting features of Würzburg is that fine, handsome buildings stand shoulder to shoulder with, well, this looks like a giant mirror. These buildings are simply uninspired and out of keeping with the historic city. You probably can't really blame Würzburg. It was bombed heavily during World War II, and what historic buildings there are have had to be completely refurbished or even rebuilt from scratch. But many buildings are post-war style and have often been built with no regard to scale at all. An uninteresting side street is turned into an ugly side street by the addition of something inspired by a shoebox. This glass and concrete nightmare is the city's main theatre. In most other places I could probably live with it, but it happens to be a stone's throw from the residence. Still, Würzburg probably did the best it could under the circumstances, and given the devastation it suffered, we can probably be glad they managed to salvage anything at all. It's just another reminder that we have to put up with the intrusion of modern life on our world. At least, we don't have to fight off hordes of marauding Swedes anymore.